Hey everybody, thanks for joining my channel. This is Auntie Angelique. Thanks for stopping in. You know, every year you claim and hope for new beginnings of different things. New you, new me, New Year's resolution, vision boards, getting into the gym more, getting your mental health cleared, all that type of thing. But you know what I thought about? I didn't think about none of that extra stuff because it's going to be what it's going to be, and I'm trusting God through everything. But what I was thinking about was the family that I have left. Now, I've cut off a lot of people on both sides of my family, and I'm okay with it because when people show you who they are, you have to believe them. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't overlook it. You just have to realize people are who they are and realize that you can't change them, but you can change how you deal with people. And separation does not mean that you hate a person. Separation just means that you are trying to respect yourself and your boundaries. Everybody has a boundary, and everybody gets tired. Everybody doesn't get to the point, doesn't always have to put up with things because of the fact that you are related. Doesn't mean you have to put up with any of that. So what I was thinking about was the family members that I have left. And I realized I have a lot more cutting off to do. I truly do. You know when people talk about you when the people that you were around start acting funny. Okay? People go along to get along every day. They one-sided. That's what they do. They assume, they speculate. Everybody does that. It's dysfunction in every family. You show me one family that there is no dysfunction. It'd be good if everybody could actually come to themselves and understand that nobody is perfect. Bring it to the forefront. In my mind and in my heart, this is the way I grew up. I would never let somebody in my family disrespect anybody in my face. In my face. I got a cousin that I was her daughter's godchild. I stopped talking to the mother because she started acting funny. When certain people would come around and her sisters would come around, she would treat me dirty for no reason at all. Her and I talked almost every day. We were basically almost like sisters. So I found out she would talk behind my back. I was in a text feed one time that they didn't know I was connected to because they created so many text messages. And the stuff that was put in that text feed, I wasn't supposed to hear because it was directed at me. Something sneaky and conniving that was really stupid anyway. You know what I'm saying? Talking about stuff that you didn't really know the rules about. Okay? So whenever I came around, I noticed that she started acting funny. So my goddaughter, okay, she stopped talking to me when I stopped talking to her mother. That's the second time she did that. Every time there was an issue with her mother, she would stop talking to me. And I had to think back. I was like, well, maybe it's something that I'm doing. And I had to think back from when I was a kid. They used to do the same bull crap to me when I was little. They just got older and did the same old dumb shit. Okay? So you recruited your daughter not to talk to me. I paid for graduations. I paid for graduation parties. I paid for prom dresses. I paid for alterations for prom dresses. I paid for limousines on 2 occasions. I did my part. I was supportive as a godmother. Forget about all the tangible things. But you decided to recruit your daughter not to talk to me. So therefore, I can't be the godmother that I was called to be. Okay? I'm okay with it. This has been years down the line. There's no rekindling. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to do none of that. All we need to do is just move on. When you see me, you see me. And we just keep it moving. That's what we can do. And I've seen them on a couple occasions. I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything to say because you will answer it. You will answer for what you have done. Okay. Now, I'm not golden and innocent by a long shot, but I know I don't treat people dirty like that. Okay. When certain people come along, yeah, I don't treat you bad. If I don't talk to you, if I don't deal with you, you automatically know that I don't deal with you. I don't need to make up anything or act funny. One minute I'm talking to you, then the next minute when somebody else come around, I'm not talking to you. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not what I do. Okay, so at the end of the day, there's another situation where my nephew's mother came into the picture. Okay, she always been problematic. Okay, and then try to play victim like it wasn't her. So me and my nephew don't even talk. He was here since Christmas and didn't even call, didn't even see me. So now I have to write that off as if to say, okay, he showed you how he felt about you. Now you got to move on. What I'm saying is, I've never been in a situation where, when I was growing up, where people didn't back you up. Okay? They didn't back you up. They didn't stand for you. Never, my friends, if somebody did me dirty, they did them dirty. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't treat them bad or anything like that or stop talking to them. But at the end of the day, they would have my back. I got nieces that hang with my goddaughter. They want to stay out of the business. You know what I'm saying? Not get wrapped up, because I'm not trying to recruit anybody not to like anybody. But at the end of the day, they know what I did for my goddaughter. Why wouldn't you stand up for your aunt to say, what's up? Why you treating my aunt like that? She was supporting you from day one. Why y'all treating her like that? No, they rather be up in their face and smile up in their face and kick and all that type of stuff. So how I'm feeling, my nieces don't like me either. Because at the end of the day, they don't treat me like how they treat the other aunt. You know what I'm saying? It's always been like that. It's always been like this funny treatment. And I don't, that disrespect type of stuff. Or they don't come around unless they need something, that type of thing. And to me, it's just your character. You know what I'm saying? You don't love people like that. Okay? That's the reason why there's always an issue when it comes to family members. Like my mother and them don't get along. And I try not to tell my family business, but I can't express how I feel without making it plain. My mother comes off very harsh. She's a grandmother. What can you say? She's an old school grandmother at that. Sometimes, yeah, she goes too far. She goes too far. And she thinks that's the way that you handle stuff. It's not the way that you handle things. You can't go in there guns blazing. You can't do that. You can't do that. Threatening, making calls, and those type of things. That's not how you handle things. To bring in the unity and the love that each and every one of us need and value. Okay? Because everybody needs somebody. I don't care what people say. I don't need nobody and this, and that, a third. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everybody needs somebody. Yes. Because you're not at the point to where you don't need anybody. Okay? Nobody's in that position. Okay? I wouldn't care if I wouldn't talk to anybody else in my family for the rest of my life. You know why? Because I got good people that back me up. I got people that back me up. Number one, I know I got a Father in heaven that I can go to and talk to. He has always put the right people in my path. If don't nobody care about me, I know God care about me. I know my friends care about me. Because they've proved it. I don't like a lot of drama. I don't like dysfunction. But the older I've gotten, I've craved for the unity. And now that I see it, it's never going to be. It's never going to be. I'm 54 years old and I'm craving the unity. My grandmother, I had to think about the days that my grandmother was living. In her last days, she was also craving the unity. She made me call each one of her children in from a service. We was in ICU. They let me stay with her, and we would have all these long conversations. She would tell me what was on her mind and everything. And she made me call them in one by one, and I did just that. They had to come. And I waited outside the ICU while she talked to each one of her children and the children's wives, the spouses. Okay? The only one she couldn't get a hold of, and she really didn't need to talk to at that point, was her daughter and her daughter's husband. Okay? But she talked to the sons and their spouses. Okay? And she talked about unity. And at the last days, she kept saying, you guys don't want unity? That's fine. I can't worry about it. I'm up out of here. That's exactly how I feel. Not ready to take my flight to heaven because I believe there's many more assignments and things that I have to do. I have love for everybody. And if you want to get your ass on your back about the facts, that's on you. But at the end of the day, I will not be played with. I will not entertain dumbness. And I am not going to keep trying to force a relationship that doesn't want to be. I've wanted the best for my family. All my nieces and nephews, I've always wanted the best for them. Always. Including my own child. I wouldn't say and do anything to them that I wouldn't do to myself or for my son. And the problem is, whenever you say something and it's received the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? It's always taken as an attack all the time. Never take it as constructive criticism. It's always brought to the forefront as an attack. See, that's learned behavior. That's what that is. That's learned behavior. Okay? I've had to really analyze a lot of stuff. See, I've been separated from my own home, my mother's house, since I was about 15, 16 years old. I've been on my own a lot. Okay? I've had support here and there. Can't say that I didn't have no support, from my mom. Because I did. I had some support. Not a lot, when I was coming up as a adolescent, because I was always in and out, as far as with my friends and at work all the time. When you're a teenager, you bumping heads with your parents sometimes. But at the end of the day, the parents shouldn't always make it seem like it's the kid's fault. No, we equally had some issues there, but I couldn't stay in my mother's house because it was just dysfunctional. I had to be honest. It was dysfunctional. Okay. And I got to call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I would not trade my journey for anything at all. What's so heartbreaking is the unity is not there. I believe the last days that my sister was here on earth, she was trying so hard to bring in the unity. It's almost as if her spirit knew that she was no longer going to be here. She's no longer here. Things have gotten more and more distant. It's terrible. Families go through that when somebody passes away. They separate even more. The real character of people comes out. When you are related to somebody, you cannot sugarcoat dysfunction if it tears the family apart. If I was to ever be in my grandparents' presence and something was happening to where I needed to apologize because of some type of disrespect behavior, they would call me out on it, and I would have to take care of it right then and there. I had an aunt try to show off on Facebook. She always used to say little slick stuff, but I always let it slide. You know what I'm saying? She tried to make it seem like we was beneath her. She stayed so drunk half the time, I guess, that she just ain't realized what she said. But see, that drew the line for me. I was no longer at the point where I was going to let her play in my face. Her daughter thinks she cute, where she thinks she better than everybody. They never included my mother's children at all in any of this stuff. Not to say we wanted it to be apart like that, but I'm just saying, just the feeling of you, just the thought of you trying to make people feel like we don't count, we not a part. Yeah, it's despicable to me. So now it's to the point that now for me, I could give a damn if I ever see them ever in my life. I don't care. That's my mother's sisters and nieces and nephews. They my cousins. Don't bother me if I don't see them again. Because that's the relationship they built. That's the relationship they built. The foolishness. It's foolishness. There will be no unity if people don't start standing up and taking responsibility for their own actions. My grandmother made me feel like I wasn't acceptable, you know what I'm saying, when I was younger because of the fact that I was chubby. I didn't lose my weight until I was in junior high. She made me feel so bad about myself, okay? I still loved her. But as I got older, I started to see it and reminisce and feel it. You know what I'm saying? She treated my brother different. And I'm just going to call it what it was because he was dark-skinned. My brother, though, see, my brother, one thing about my brother, he don't care about none of that extra stuff that happens. You know what I'm saying? He takes it with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let people play in my face. And I'm not going to let them try to insult my intelligence just because we are related. Even the Lord said, do not be deceived. The Lord even had to move from his own home family because he wasn't accepted. I'm not God, but at the end of the day, I know what the Lord told me. If I don't treat a person right, the Lord will make me go back and correct that. In my spirit and in my soul, I can never treat somebody dirty and not go back and say, I'm sorry. I'm mature enough to where I can humble myself. But I don't want to be connected to somebody that's wishy-washy and two-faced. I definitely don't want to do that. 2026 has just started. I thank God that he has allowed me to be here in 2026. A lot of people didn't make it. Some people got to the day before and crossed over. For me, I want to keep going, keep showing love, keep spreading love, and doing whatever God has assigned me to do. Anybody get mad? Oh, freaking well. I got to keep it 100. Never let anybody play in your face. I don't care what relationship it is. It could be your own child. Lay it on the line. Stand up for who you need to stand up for. Stop sugarcoating dysfunction because it tears families apart. Look at Rob Reiner and his wife. They knew that their son had a mental problem. Too many red flags that they was going on with this child that they had. He was too deep in substance. Too deep in substance. He killed them. You cannot sugarcoat wrong behavior. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. It's a sad thing when families split apart. All the old people have moved on upwards to the kingdom of God. Now people in my age and their parents still here in the land of the living. They are now stepping in as the older people, the elderly people. They getting disrespected too. It's not the same. People don't value elderly people like how they used to. And not saying that everybody, just because you old, that you know everything or that you're always in the right. That's the same thing as people going to church. Some people worship the pastor instead of worshiping God. They get things misconstrued. You know? I just think it's terrible. I had such high hopes about things coming together. But now, it's the 3rd of January. I feel more distant and more disappointed than I ever had in my whole entire life. People really try to insult your intelligence. They really do. And as long as God gives me each day to move forward, all I need to do is swallow hard and realize things are what they are. I get treated different all the time. I get left out of things. You know why? Because people don't feel the same way about me as I feel about them. Not going to force any relationships. Not going to do that. I would rather stay in my house and relax in my chair than to be around people that don't really care about me. Or the only time they need me is when they want something. Don't even think to ask, you okay? You need anything? Just a gesture. Even if I don't need anything. It's not nobody's responsibility, but at the end of the day, it's polite. Showing compassion, empathy. Stop playing in people's face if you really don't care about them. You don't really give a damn about them, and if all you're going to do is talk about them at the end of the day, just stay away from people. You don't know what mindset people are in. People have to humble themselves, and they have to come to people and be at another person's mercy to ask for help. Sometimes people don't have a choice but to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? You making them feel bad because they have to ask for help. I think it's retarded when people do that. At the end of the day, just treat people how you want to be treated. But I know one thing. I've created my own family. And I'm okay with it.